What's good, YouTube? We got a video from a channel that I've been subscribed to for a while, actually, and I just haven't been seeing their videos. I realized I didn't have all notifications turned on. So if you're subbed right now, make sure you turn on all notifications. It's always gonna pre-fire a little like. And if you're on the fence about subbing, you can watch this video to make your decision. But always remember, as a reactor, what I do is I find the content and I bring it for us to watch together. As you can see, bottom right corner, we have the YouTube chat, and then top right corner, when someone chats in Twitch, it pops up, and a link down in Discord below for the community. If you join the community, you'll be notified every time I go live, as well as every time I post a video like these. Without further ado, we're just gonna hop straight into it. Talk to me.
For most of Batman's history, he's always had one Robin by his side. But for the last few years, he's had two.
And that's one
I didn't know ball, because I'm not too caught up into the comics. That's why we sub the comic
too many.
class.
Because like you said, Batman
too many,
needs a
it's
Robin.
crazy.
There's always going to be the dynamic duo. But there's a certain little birdie that's been left out of the party.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Thomas.
I'm Merlin.
Together we're the Comic Lads, and today we are talking about DC's Robin.
I'm Merlin.
I like how one of them has a fade, one of them doesn't. I like the detail.
Together we're the Comic
WR.
Lads, and today we are talking about DC's Robin problem.
And specifically the fact that Tim Drake and Damian Wayne both seem to be struggling to grab the mantle in the last 20 years. And it seems like DC editorial just doesn't know what to do. Before we get into it though, we do want to hear from you guys in question of the week. Let us know in the comments down below. Do you think it's a problem that we have two mainline Robins running simultaneously together?
Or are you okay with it? You know, because that's valid also.
I think it's a decent. It's new, so I'm not gonna say like it should be normal, but I think it's a good metric of growth, and it leads to multiple like lines of character development. You know how Batman interacts with his Robins, how these two Robins interact with each other. As the only time we normally see stuff like that is after one person is not Robin anymore, after they've evolved or after they've left the crime fighting scene. So this shows us their interaction in real time and leads to it could also lead to a situation where one of them actually has the desire to become the next Batman. Because we've seen that with Nightwing, but the issue with Nightwing being Batman is his character is not designed to be Batman. His character is literally, you could also say that make the same argument for Red Hood. It is designed to be I want to do something that you can't do. I respect what you are able to do, but you need a different approach to do what I want to do. So I become my own hero. I become Nightwing, which Batman has admitted is something powerful, something that needs to be there. And even in Red Hood's case, I can't remember the comic run, but I remember they were like looking down on the city, and Red Hood was trying to apologize, and Batman was like, no, like Gotham needs Batman, but they also need Red Hood, right? Which is interesting because the Red Hood was once a criminal. It wasn't one person. Criminals would just throw on a red mask so they didn't get caught being like criminals. So it's an interesting sentiment. But the point is, a lot of times their character is meant to evolve past what Batman was, not to be that moniker, because they're not designed to be dark and gloomy. But take a character like Damian, and in some runs, he moves past that because his past is the life of an assassin. But being that Batman's moniker is to be the fear that stops the criminals, Damian has like the character to be Batman. The only thing he might lack is the detective ability that Tim has. So there's even like this toss up of one of them can be Batman and one can go and be something like more. While the other takes the title of Batman and elevates it to something that it's never been.
We're just like
Jaded.
we're extremely jaded.
Yeah, and also guys, be sure to drop a like on the video, it really helps us out. Subscribe if you haven't already, and become one.
Nice.
With the comic book lads.
The Robin Lads.
The
on.
lad wonders.
Haven't already, and become one.
With the comic
Like, look at this line though. You can't tell me it's not tough, bruh. You can't tell me that's not tough. They don't got their child in this panel, but this is Nightwing up there. I mean, Superman up there. It's like, what I'm saying? It's inspired by Krypton Legend. Got both his dads right there. Pause. You know what I'm saying? But dad, aunt type shit. You know what I'm saying?
book lads.
Not
The
bad
Robin
lineups. Please tell me that's not Jason holding the fucking crowbar, bro. You know you don't fuck with crowbars, gang. It's not a crowbar. It's really like a wrench thing, kind of like I took the tires off the Batmobile. Based off the staff, that's Tim, and that's obviously my goat.
The lad wonders.
Fire.
Yeah. So before we get into the main problem itself, we should probably lay some groundwork for you guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
like paint the picture of what it was like when there was just one Robin.
Yeah, because we all know the legendary transition from Dick Grayson to Nightwing, which then opened up
Elite.
the mantle of Robin to be passed to Jason Todd.
Which ended very well.
Extremely well for
He's
everyone.
No,
alive.
actually, he died, and then we got Tim Drake.
It's no surprise to anyone who's watched any of our Robin-themed videos, or just like any Comic Lads video. I feel like we mentioned Tim Drake at some point in every video.
Tim Glazer.
No, like we're doing tricks on it.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Tim is like that.
We love Tim Drake.
Yes.
In our opinion,
And Tim is like that, but like he's the least known about Robin. Because like again, Jason has the Red Hood progression, which is a compelling story. Nightwing has the Nightwing progression, which is a compelling story. And it's like him and Red Hood are like opposites on the spectrum. Nightwing becomes more of a symbol of hope than what Batman is he's a symbol of fear. He does inspire hope to, the powerless, but he's more of a symbol of fear for the evil, while Jason, especially the color dynamics there with Nightwing being blue and, Batman's like traditionally black. Yeah, there's blue and gray in his uniform, but he's traditionally black. And then from that branching of colors, you have blue more on the hope side of what Batman stands for, and red more of the I'm going to strike fear in these criminals even more. You know what I'm saying? And then Tim is literally like directly below Batman, him and Damian. But Damian, for most people, is more compelling. Most people don't like him, but he's more compelling and easier to learn about because he is the son of Batman. He's his biological son. And it's this interesting story where he's like, and that's why I did it that way, where if you think about it, Batman, picture it, black thing, black block, that splits into a blue block over here and a red block over here. And then you get Damian, who is down here, somewhere between that red and black block, where he is a more dark, gritty version, becoming more like Batman, his actual father. And then you have Tim, someone who discovered who Batman's identity was via the tricks Dick Grayson was doing as Robin, and he's on the right side under that black block. So these are now the two Robins, and we have these two branches of people that are no longer Robin. They've evolved to become their own heroes. So it's like Batman, Red Hood, Robin, and then you have Damian, and then you have Tim. So it's this interesting, correlation there where just with these heroes who are standalone that are tied to Batman, they're compelling enough. They're their own hero. And so are Damian and Tim. They're often times kind of like the premise of Young Justice, just seen as sidekicks. The same way Nightwing didn't get the attention he deserved when he was Robin. It's the same situation with Tim Drake and Damian, except Damian's just more compelling because he comes from like that darker, grittier plot line, right? Backstory, backline. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but we need to make it more normalized to understand that characters like Damian and Tim are their own heroes. And I would love to learn more about Tim.
I mean, he's very neck and neck with Dick Grayson, and we've made tons of videos about that in the past, and it kind of flip-flops, but I think the general consensus, among us at least, is that Tim Drake is the best.
Yes.
And he's the only person to ever be Robin that truly understands why Batman needs a Robin, and understands what the actual mantle of Robin is.
Yeah, he is the one that pushed to become Robin, like against Batman's wishes.
Yeah, he was like, dude, you're grieving, you're sad as hell because Jason Todd is dead.
Yeah.
You need someone in your corner, you need someone who can be your backup.
And also, like, you're mad violent lately after Jason.
Yeah, like he's meant. He's literally meant. He's literally meant to be Robin, if that makes sense. Like, that's his character, while the other two were taken as Robin just in a sense of like, oh, well, this would be a cool idea. This kid needs some way to not become like me. And then after he left, oh, this kid needs some way to not be like me. And then something tragic happened with him, and he realized, like, I meant to work alone. I don't want to endanger these lives any longer. And then Tim comes along and says, well, you need a Robin, and you're not endangering my life. I'm choosing to fight for the greater good. He is the Robin that is Robin because he knows what Robin stands for and what it means. You get what I'm saying? He's not running away from something. He's not protecting himself from becoming like Bruce. He is projecting himself to becoming Robin, into being that dynamic duo that Bruce needs. While, of course, Damian was just kind of born into the lineage. You know, he has no, these other characters essentially have no desire to be Robin. They just become Robin. Not saying they don't want the mantle. They don't pursue it as what it is. They are kind of just pulled into it.
Yeah. Like, you're forgetting what it means to be a hero and sliding back into, like, the urban vigilante.
Batman, throughout various points of his journey, has always questioned whether he should do this alone or with help of others. And Tim Drake reminds him that he doesn't need to fight that war of Gotham alone.
And he was right. And we had, like, over a decade of incredible comics with Tim as Robin. And it felt like when Tim became Robin and really settled into the role, it was like the character of Robin had finally become fully realized. He was a hero in his own right. And, you know, like, he made his...
Exactly. Robin is a hero. He is not Robin and needs to become something more. He is making Robin something more. And that's, like, the difference between him and Damian. So there could be this interesting dynamic where Damian becomes Batman, right? Because he has no set trend line. He has nowhere he needs to go. And with his development and him being the son of Batman, it raises the question, does he have to continue his legacy? So it's an interesting parallel where in the near future, Batman will be the younger one. Batman will be the less... I don't want to say Damian's like less intellectual than Tim, but he's not as much of a detective, right? So it'll become a thing where instead of people seeing it as Robin needs Batman, it'll be Batman needs Robin. You get what I'm saying? So if they're actively working towards that, that's going to be a fire narrative flip. That's going to be a fire progression.
His own costume. He finally had pants.
Yeah, we finally got a new Robin costume.
Yes.
Which, like...
after, like, 60 years.
Arguably the best Robin costume of all time.
Yeah.
We might have a video on that coming very soon.
Yes.
But you're right. In that new costume and that new hero, it really signified that Robin had finally found his own. And then Grant Morrison came in.
Like a bull in a china shop and just fucked everything up for us.
Yeah. They wrote Batman and Son. It's a story that has its fans. It introduced the world to Damian Wayne, the son of Talia al Ghul and Bruce Wayne Batman, and poised him to be the new Boy Wonder.
Yeah.
Against all of our will.
Yeah, literally. They were all enjoying Tim's journey as Robin. He had just got the freaking nasty 1 year later suit, the all red. He was leading the Titans, I'm pretty sure. And then Grant was like, no, actually, Batman's biological son is his most important son because blood matters, like, over a bond.
You're just some lost little orphan you took pity on, but I'm blood!
And that's where the crux of this video really comes up, because even in that book, in his very first appearance, and that's where the crux of this video really comes up, because
boy, hell no.
Even in that book, in his very first appearance, at a certain point, there's two kids in Robin costumes in the Batcave.
Yeah, and one of them is someone you like, and the other one is the most unlikable character in modern DC Comics history.
For sure, there's Damian Wayne fans out there, and
likable character in modern DC.
He's not your real son. I am. It's my right to replace him. That's how it works in the Assassin's League. And that's what I'm saying. He doesn't understand the metrics of being a hero and how it has nothing to do with blood. It has nothing to do with capability. Capability, yes. Or ability specifically, but it has something to do with your capacity to be a better person, to be a hero, to encompass that heart or that mindset, that will to improve and better the lives of others, even at the expense of your own life sometimes, right? So again, it would lead to insane character development if he becomes Batman. And Tim stays Robin because Robin is his own hero. And then it becomes this thing where Robin is now kind of like more known. Robin will never be more known than Batman because they'll never know that the modicum was passed down except for like the brutality that Batman has, right? So it'll be known, but it'll still be Batman. It'll still have that type of emotion, that type of aura almost. And Damian, having Bruce's name, will be able to literally take over the company. So he'd still have the money and the resources, and Tim would essentially be like his advisor, a wiser, more experienced counterpart who is literally a detective, who literally does this. I think that'd be interesting.
Comics history.
For sure, there's Damian Wayne fans out there, and we've even gone on record.
He's not meant to be
grown on us.
He's grown on us, and a lot of the hate that we might have had toward him is really brought about by the theme of this video, which is he just takes away shine from Tim Drake, who should still be Robin. And for the last 20-something years, we've been in this weird limbo state where both of them are fighting for that position and that role in Batman's life. They try to do the whole Dick Grayson and Jason Todd evolution to their next hero persona thing with Tim Drake.
They made him Red Robin.
Yeah, Red Robin.
I don't like that.
That had some mixed feelings at the time. It didn't feel right.
No, it felt artificial. It felt like, well, give him this name, even though he's not Robin. He's Red Robin. You guys like that, right?
No, I think he should be the Robin. I'm not gonna beat the, what was it called? Beat the horse dry or whatever. Thanks for the peace and blessing.
His mask is dumb as shit. You like that, right?
Man.
He's literally man.
Yeah. And it seems like around the time of DC Rebirth, they kind of just admitted defeat. And they're like, no, he's still Red Robin, but guess what? We're going to put him back into his original Robin costume.
Yeah, and how do you tell the difference? He's got 2 R's on his chest, which looks so
It does look
And
dope.
it's
I'm
always
not
got
gonna
me
lie. That does
feeling
look
weird
tough.
because, especially in solo Batman stories, sometimes Batman will reference Robin, and I'm like, who are you talking
Which
about?
one?
Yeah, the way they consolidate it is that they largely don't have Tim and Damian overlap each other in the same book. They'll each be the Robin of different books, which is just weird because it's like you're reading the series called Batman and Robin, and the Robin of different books.
That hair is low-key tough as hell. Is that Damian? If that's Damian, that's motion, bro. Holy, look at that suit, bro. That's PFP of Doom.
Which is just weird because it's like you're reading the series called Batman and Robin, and the Robin in that is Damian. But when you're reading Batman, the solo series, the Robin in that is Tim. And like that's not inherently a stupid idea or anything, but in each book they act as though this Robin is like their sole Robin and their main partner, and it just makes me feel like I'm reading 2 different timelines at the same time because they're running concurrently.
That just reminded me of the epic sequence in Failsafe, where Batman's like narrating how good Batman and Robin's partnership is, specifically with Tim Drake, and how they complement each other so well and bring out the best in one another. And it's like, how can you...
The old moves come back. Dick always went off book. He is a performer. He knows how to improvise. That is who he is. Jason hated practicing them. He wants to be his own thing. He wanted to go off on his own. He was very rebellious. But Tim, he knows what Batman needs. He knows what I need to do to be Robin. He sees Robin as the hero. Right? And of course, Batman is a hero too. He looks up to Batman, but he doesn't just look up to Batman. He looks up to the image of Robin that his his predecessors have created, but he can also see where the flaws are. And he is, in his mind, like the perfect, this is what Robin needs to be.
Say that, but in the next book, he's like patrolling the Gotham streets with Damian Wayne.
Yeah, I don't know. What it does is it breaks my immersion.
It does. But it's an interesting move on DC editorial's part, especially brand synergy-wise. It makes the jumping on point for Batman casual readers very confusing, I'm gonna say.
I might be reading too much into this, and I know we're gonna have people in our comments being like, why do you guys care this much? Just read what you want.
It's a good topic.
Like, when every comic is happening at the same time, then like none of them are.
It's very much like DC's trying to have their cake and eat it too.
That's what it is, because it's like, listen, I understand having the superhero-esque, fun, bombastic action book in Batman, and then having like more low-key, gritty detective stories in detective comics. But like, you add a third one to that mix with Batman and Robin, and I'm like, when is anything ever actually happening to Batman? Because he's also in Justice League.
It also just dilutes what the theme of Robin is.
Yeah.
Which is Robin is the one person that Batman can fight crime with, can rely on, can break cases with.
And it's like, the concept of 2 isn't a bad idea because 1 is his son. So there's this trust in Robin because he views Robin as not only a son, but a partner. That was the evolution that happened time and time again with the chosen Robins. But now, one of the Robins is his son. So it would be good to really cover this narrative that like he treats Damian differently, right? Still strategically, I'm going to realize that you're an asset and I'm going to move this way, that way. I'm going to protect you like I'll protect him, but I might hover over you a little more, you know, because you're literally my son. And it would just be better to have the dynamic of like, I'm doing kick-ass shit with my son. I'm happy. I enjoy being Batman with Damian, right? And he should, in a way, be kind of grooming Damian and pause. People make that word so bad. But festering and building Damian into being the next Batman, right? And then have Tim be Robin. That's what Tim is. This is my partner. This is my Jim Gordon, right? This is the man I can dap up with and be like, yeah, let's review the ports from next quarter, and then go walk off and like cheese at the fact that that's my guy. That's what I think would work better than trying to put them both in this box. That's two different boxes, while all being within the same viewing experience at once.
And now suddenly he has two in his corner.
And that's fine, but like you have to acknowledge it and not just like nebulously have Batman in each book feel like a different person. Because he's like, oh, Robin, my greatest partner, Tim Drake. And then in Batman and Robin, he's like, my son, Robin, my greatest partner.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe you in either series.
And again, it kind of dilutes what we love so much about Tim Drake, because he was the one to really push to be into that role.
Yeah.
Who really wanted it. Of all the different Robins throughout the years, Tim Drake, I'm going to say, is the one that has adopted the role the best.
Yes.
But now with Damian being there, and also like, I just don't get down on Damian, I'm sorry.
I don't either. And it's really like, all it feels like is, no, Damian is the best Robin because he's Batman's biological son. And I'm like, that doesn't mean shit. They're all his children.
Yeah, I mean, everyone who adopts the mantle of Robin becomes his son.
They're all his
come on, bro.
children.
Peak,
I mean,
bro.
everyone who adopts the mantle of Robin becomes his son.
Yes, it's also just like Tim has just become the other Robin.
Yeah.
It's like Damian's Robin, but Tim's the other Robin.
I hate that.
It's dog shit.
To the
They're
general
distilling
public,
his
Damian
character.
is Robin.
They're
but then
watering
you'll
down
open up the
Tim's
mainline
character.
Batman series, and Tim Drake is Robin, and it's like, what the hell's going on? And then you also get choices from James Gunn.
I was just gonna say that.
You know, like doing Batman the Brave and the Bold, and having Robin be the main partner to Batman in that new movie franchise.
What's the worst thing is because it's like in the comics, you're like, wow, I'll never escape Damian. He's just gonna be Robin forever now.
Not
Maybe
gonna be in the movies.
We'll get like Dick adapted, and then James Gunn was
Oh,
first
we
announcement.
need that for
Damian
sure.
Wayne is my favorite Robin.
Like,
Yeah, Tim Drake just gets shafted in adaptations. Even Damian Wayne, he had so many appearances in the DC AMU.
and like
Facts.
people will swear he's peak in those movies.
And he sounds so whiny.
So ass.
I am the son of Batman. It's like, oh my god.
What do you think? Do you think we'll ever get to a point where like Tim will be like in the spotlight again?
Yes.
Or like do you think it'll always just be two and we'll have to deal with it?
I think
No.
if there was to be a spotlight given to anyone, it would be Damian Wayne.
I think so too.
And Tim Drake would go back to being like Red Robin or adopt some new persona
Ew.
like Drake.
Yeah, like who
Drake knows.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Drake.
Guys, let us know what you think in the comments down below. Are you a Damian Wayne apologist or do you want Tim Drake to get the
Apologist is crazy. I gave y'all my take. I'm like in the
spotlight
middle.
again?
Yeah, no matter what you feel, if you like Damian Wayne better as Robin than Tim Drake, it's all love here. We just want to come on and vent our frustrations, because I also think it's a thing that's not really talked about in the comic community. People just widely accept it, and I don't understand.
Well, it's because Damian has been a character for almost 20 years now. Let that sink in. And I think people have just accepted that he's main Robin. We should be grateful that we're getting Tim in the Fraction and him
This is Tim? Oh my god, this fit is hard, boy.
as run because he's great. But that's all we can get though. Like we have to hope for a millennial/Gen X writer to come in who was a fan of Tim when he was a kid and write for Tim.
But let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like what we do here and you want to see more, we do want to let you guys know that we have our Comic Lads membership live on Patreon and YouTube. There you can get access to a 1 to 2 hour weekly podcast where you get to hang out with us.
And you get access to our Discord server where you can chat with us, and you get early access to every single one of our main channel videos.
So thank you to all of our Comic Lad members.
That's a lot of people.
And we love you.
Love you so dearly.
Well, that was DC Has a Robin Problem by the Goats Comic Lads. Appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure, as always, you stay happy, healthy, and hydrated. And I'll make sure to catch you in the next one. You know what time to find me. Peace.